Hey gang, it's Josh. If you're hearing my voice right now at the beginning of an episode, you probably already know what's coming. There were mic issues with this episode, specifically on my end. It's not that bad, but you will hear the occasional feedback loop, and I apologize. On with the show.
So to the audience, I would like to genuinely apologize to you because you missed the most wonderful version of Wonderful World sung by Ben with all of the baritone he could possess, and it will never be heard from.
It was pretty impressive.
It was pretty impressive. And on that somber note, I'm sure I'm already cueing in the music.
We've become too self-aware. The hive mind has become too self-aware.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, well, don't you know it? The Force has gone and awakened. Chris, how was your watch?
It was awakened.
I feel, in regards to my watch, I had to struggle to stay awakened. Ben, how was your watch?
It was alright. I'm looking forward to not having to consume bonus content.
I know you hit a breaking point this week.
I was, so like 3 weeks ago, I just kind of sat down. I was like, it's going to feel so nice to not have to listen to any radio dramas or books or anything other than like the movies for 9 whole weeks. And that's what's been getting me through lately. Ugh.
Next rotation really is going to feel like a break for everybody, finally.
When we do a completely vanilla watch through and don't have much to say.
No, I'll make content. I don't know how, but I'll make content.
We always have something to say.
Yeah, we generally do. I say having 3 notes for this entire episode.
Oh, I've got notes.
I know. But I'm very worried when we don't have outside content, which we've done a ton of outside content we shouldn't be doing more than we already are. We should be doing less, actually, so I don't mean to imply that. But I'm getting very worried at how few notes I have, one of which today is I really hate the term moof milker, and that's the full note.
Well, no, here's the thing. We have to accept a concept that we've discussed numerous times on the podcast, and that's that this podcast inevitably is going to just be a reminder of, hey, we watched this week, and then we're never going to talk about the movie we watched again for that episode. That's like, we've discussed that before. At a certain point, this podcast is going to be the podcast where we just talk about Star Wars in general, and also, hey, we watched this movie this week too.
And I think at some point we also have to make the conscious decision that we are absolutely willing to fucking repeat ourselves as much as we want to. Like, I think going into the 5th rotation, it's fair to say we are allowed to repeat ourselves if we want to. Because we, for the most part, we've been pretty careful about not repeating ourselves unless it's Ben bringing up the Jabba scene and Greedo in the background every time we watch A New Hope. Other than that, we haven't generally repeated ourselves much.
Yeah, I'd never repeat myself about pod races.
You're rotten son of a bitch.
It's not like it was the first compilation video we've had or anything.
No. Hey guys, I'm gonna start us off with one of our fresh bits. Fresh cannon.
Fresh cannon!
Fresh cannon!
This is something I literally learned right now as I was pulling up a relevant Wikipedia article for today. So last week, actually, I mentioned one of Palpatine's advisors, Jerjerrod.
Sure.
They're on Starkiller Base. One of the notable locations is Jerjerrod's quarters. And I clicked the link, and it's an empty article. But the source is from Join the Resistance Attack on Starkiller Base, which looks like a like young adult or children's like graphic novel type thing. So apparently, yeah, fucking Jerjerrod was chilling on Ilum.
Jesus Christ.
That's weird. That is a weird detail.
It's
That's a very
odd to
weird
say the
detail.
least.
That's another one of those serendipitous certain people who will one day listen to the podcast will be like, I don't believe they're actually doing this the way they're saying they're doing this things because it's too serendipitous to really have happened. But it did.
Yeah, no, this is just the world.
We can't fake the level of falling the fuck apart we are. You can't, like, I bet if you go back and again, I've listened to these episodes far less recently than some people possibly. I'm sure
Yeah.
the first rotation we sounded like competent, somewhat intelligent people who were very well versed in the source material we're talking about. Like,
There was never a point. I have listened to all of the episodes recently for the pod racing thing. If you haven't watched it on our YouTube, you can find now this is quite unfortunately pod racing, which is every fucking mention of pod racing that Ben ever made in the podcast for the first 3 rotations. But anyway, I listened to every episode again on 2 times speed. We never sounded competent. That is not something we have ever gotten close to. That is not our bag.
At least at one point, we probably sounded like Chipper.
That's more accurate.
there are certain episodes where we still sound chipper.
The first episode, the Phantom Menace episode, we were so excited. We were so excited.
I mean,
And
I'm
then
excited every Phantom Menace episode.
Shut up. And then this funny thing happened where we had to re-record the Attack of the Clones episode 3 or 4 times. And then from there, the chipperness kind of chipped away, ironically,
Yeah,
very, very quickly.
Come to think of it, that is probably what broke us.
Especially poor Chris, who watched it 3 times in that week.
3 times.
We should really at some point do like, no, I don't want to even say it out loud because it's going to make so much work for Josh.
Oh no.
Never mind.
You've already upset my dog, apparently. My dog's barking at something by the implication of what you have said, so you might as well say it.
I was going to say we should do like a retrospective episode to cap off one of these rotations where we discuss the previous rotations and like, talk about like, favorite moments of the podcast so far.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
That
If
sounds
you-
like a lot of editing work.
That sounds like after 10 rotations of the podcast, we sit down and like, all right, what was our
Jesus.
favorite moments of like
I
doing this for 10 fucking rotations? Not so much a 5 rotation thing.
for 90 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, 81.
You say that, you were like, that sounds like a 10 rotation thing. Yeah, we're halfway there.
I know. I
Oh
have
my god. Oh my
in
god.
our Google Docs, I keep a schedule. I'm not very good at keeping the schedule, but I keep a schedule. And I have the release dates for the first 10 rotations scheduled on there, so I never have to update it. And I will now open it to tell you what the last scheduled episode is on this calendar.
Oh no. I'm frightened.
I don't remember how far ahead this goes, so we're about to find out.
Josh had like a fucking manic episode one night he doesn't remember, where he just wrote down like where it's fucking done to like rotation 70. Like,
One day I'll show up to Josh's house and he'll be like, and here's the schedule, and it's just like insane scribbles and like cryptic drawings and shit.
The final episode that has been recorded here is episode 9, rotation 10, on May 18th, 2022.
Jesus Christ.
holy shit! So we're almost a year from.
A year
So,
and 2 months.
we basically do 5 rotations a year. We started this one a little late.
Yes. So to put that into perspective, that week we'll be recording 6 weeks ahead. So 9, we will be doing episode 6, rotation 11 that week.
Oh man.
Hey, what can I say?
Hey Ben, tell me about this book.
Yeah, please tell us about.
But before that,
Let's get
can
this
I talk
right
about
away.
something else that Wikipedia has brought to my attention?
Oh no.
Ding ding
So if
ding
you've
ding.
been on Wikipedia as much as I have, which you probably haven't, but
I can't. Not this decade.
What kind of weird humble brag?
that's not a whole brag. That's me realizing how much of my time I've wasted on this fucking website. On the right, there's a popular pages tab, and for the longest time, it's been in order: Ahsoka, Darth Sidious, Grogu, Mandalorians, and I forget what the next one usually was. I'm proud to announce, now at the top of the popular pages list is Geode, my
Yes!
boy.
Yes! Yes! Justice has been served!
And we officially have legitimate artwork of Geode.
You fresh cannon!
And he's just a slate. He's like a fucking tablet. But this thing's the size of a fucking person.
So, I can't. When Ben says he's just a slate, he's seriously just a slate. He's just.
Like just a slab of rock that's standing tall.
Geode, how old are you? That's a lot of age marks.
Oh, we don't have an age, actually.
I actually don't want to know, Ben. I
do now. How long do Vindians live?
What happens when they die? Do they just crumble?
I'm now picturing a dark reality where Geode's not really alive, but everyone's like, "Hey, Geode, good to have you here," and it's just like a corpse.
It's
oh
Jesus, it's dark.
No, that Geode isn't alive anymore. They just look the same when they're dead as they do when they're alive. Geode is just gonna fucking Cade Skywalker it up, and every not dead Jedi in the Clone Wars that shows up in that weird 120 years after the Battle of Yavin arc, Geode's just gonna show up there in the new canon version. Geode
is actually one of the voices, right?
Oh, I thought you were not joking for a second there, and I got
I'm
really concerned. Our brains are trash. Our brains are so done.
In the middle of fucking Rise of Skywalker, you just hear the sound of like stone scraping. And And it's Geode reaching out to Ray.
Oh God, you gotta tell us about this book, Ben.
This book. I have a new hatred for Unkar Plutt.
I mean, he does seem like an ultra fucking piece of shit.
Unkar Plutt is a creepy ultra piece of shit now. Because the book describes how Ray tries to spend like as little time in his presence as possible, understandably, and he's the opposite. He tries to prolong their interactions as long as possible,
So
so he can like creepily fucking like catcall her.
I need to know the name of this author, because we always ask it at some point during the podcast, and it's usually to blame them for a thing.
This was Alan Dean Foster.
Really?
Yes. Which
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
sure I know that name. I'm not.
Well, that's because he wrote the original Star Wars: A New Hope that George Lucas took the credit.
Alan Dean. Yes. Okay. Duh.
This
I
is-
know Alan.
We
This
also
is a-
literally just talked to him about him.
Yeah.
I know. My brain doesn't work.
This is probably the book he didn't get paid for then.
Yeah.
Probably, along with the other ones he never got paid for.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't been getting paid for lately.
Yep.
Disney, you fucks. Allegedly, not allegedly. I fucking hate you guys.
Hold on, this is
But
very.
still sponsor us.
Yeah. Apparently he wrote some Dinotopia books, which
Dinotopia?
is now so important for me to look for.
Disney, let me tell you. let me talk to you real quick, Disney. I know you're
Disney
listening.
Plus, best $6.99 in the biz.
No, Ben, they know.
Let me talk to you.
Look, the charade's over. They know. We all know.
Good,
Disney.
I'm bad at charades.
Oh,
I
Listen,
am now.
Disney.
I'm
you
gonna
know you're
now-
trash. We all know it. But we're gonna keep consuming your shit. So like, just sponsor us. We know what's up. We know what's up. You know what's up.
I want that to be
Everyone
our new
thinks you suck.
tagline. Our tagline should be the shameless self-promotion. Just sponsor us.
Listen,
Star
Disney.
Wars every week forever. Just sponsor us.
Disney, everyone knows that you're fucking trash. But we're gonna keep watching the Star Wars. Because you have it. We're gonna keep watching the Marvel shit. Because you have it. Got nowhere else to go. Late stage capitalism, baby. We know. Just sponsor us. Come on.
I just wanna say for the public, I'm going to campaign very, very, very hard for the title of this episode to just be "They Know." And if it is not the title, I have lost a war, and I want our fans to make sure that they have my back.
In 15 minutes, we're gonna say something real fucking stupid, and Josh is gonna
No,
be like, "Yep, that's
I
it."
want, on principle, I want it to be "They Know."
I'm back, guys. I'm sorry. I think I blacked out there for a minute.
We're gonna have to check and make sure that Kathleen Kennedy didn't block our email after that particular comment. So
Hey, Kathy, listen.
I'll just set a reminder for 6 weeks when you're mysteriously like, why isn't Kathleen getting a hold of us anymore? Well, it might have been when we.
No, listen. Hey, all companies, listen. I'm your guy, because I'm honest. I don't mince my words. We all know what's up. We all know.
This went on a tangent.
I'm just saying. Listen, this is us finally shooting our shot for an advertiser.
On the topic of capitalism, Unkar. So Ray has BB-8 with her, and Unkar Plutt's like, "Yo, how much for the robot?" And and Ray's like, "I don't fucking know." And Unkar Plutt's like, I'll give you 60 portions. And Ray's sitting there thinking about it. And she's thinking about it, and BB-8's like freaking the fuck out. So what Ray does is she bends down and shuts BB-8 down. And then talks Unkar Plutt to 100 portions.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And then at the last minute, not for some altruistic thing, but because she just wanted to say fuck you to Unkar Plutt, she goes, actually never mind, and just walks away with BB-8.
I like that so much more.
I just got this image in my head, and I hate to say this because I'm probably gonna have to Photoshop it, of just the TNG episode where when Data's sentience is on trial and right to choose, and where Riker has to be the opposing lawyer because he doesn't have a choice, and he walks over and he turns Data off very aggressively and turns around and says, "The puppet strings have been cut." And now I just picture Ray being Riker and BB-8 being Data.
No! No!
Man, we only got a few episodes away from you going, you know what, I'm never going to bring up Star Trek on this podcast.
I never agreed to that.
He never agreed to that. I will side with Josh on that one.
I never did. So Ray was absolutely willing to sell BB-8.
Oh yeah, there was like in the movie, it's like there's a second where she's like, look at all this food, and then she's like, no, I'm gonna do the right thing. No, the droid bothers her, so she shuts it the fuck down, and then haggles to get more portions.
I like the movie version better, thank you.
Yeah, no, I like the book version better.
I like the book version a bit better, to be honest.
I like that it gives Rey some like edge to her, and like, you know,
yeah, and
some
a lot
some
of,
Star Wars scoundrel traits to her, as opposed to just like, no, I just met this droid, and you know, I live on this desert planet, and my life sucks, and I have no food, and but yeah, this droid I met 2 seconds ago. No, it's more worth it to. No, I like the book version better because it's more realistic. It's this this girl going, no, I should totally sell this fucking droid.
In the movie, it gives you this like portrayal of Rey, and I'm not saying it's like objectively better or worse, but like it just in the movie she feels a lot more like she's very kind, caring person, which I can get on board with. But in the book, she seems more, I guess pragmatic would be the right word. Like she's like, I've been stranded on this fucking desert. I need to make shit work here. I need to survive. Like she's more looking out for herself, it feels like in the book.
It kind of feels already like these books were written before the movies came out.
Yeah.
Because that's up to this point, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but up to this point, no matter how batshit these books got, and I'm mostly talking about the prequel ones because the original trilogy ones came out in 2015. There's some weird character decisions, but they do not move away from the intended presentation of the characters.
Yeah, like the core idea of the character is typically still intact.
It almost doesn't sound like that's intact with Rey to an extent here. Like that seems like a big change.
It gives her a bit more of an arc when she does finally start to open up.
I guess, but that arc's already elsewhere in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say she already has another arc though, so like
Yeah.
it feels like she has like more development to something that's more to the core of her character.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that her waiting for her parents isn't core to her character, but like it's something more what's the word? Like more fuck.
Fuck seems like the right word.
No. Shit. It's gonna hit me in like 20 minutes and I'm just gonna yell it. Abstract.
Okay.
Like it's not, it doesn't like It's more something internal with her herself rather than external, like waiting for someone, if that makes any sense at all.
Okay. I understand what you're going for there. Abstract was not the word for it.
No, I'm still trying to think of.
I really did love that lead up, and Josh and I politely both just like, yes.
When I noticed today that when Finn's running to go get the water, there's a some kind of seller in the market that screams really loud, blah blah blah, as he runs by. It's really funny to me. I was very confused. I had to rewind it a couple times. It's definitely got that higher octane blah 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 sound to it, but it basically is just blah blah blah.
And then we got fucking the parents from goddamn fucking the Peanuts over here in the middle of Jakku. Wah wah wah.
Before I die, we will do a second version of a read through where we replace all of the Jedi Masters voices with wah 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 wah. That is a before I die goal.
I need to get off this page. Geode is staring at me intently.
How can you tell? We're falling apart.
We were together?
Oh, God.
I can't tell if I'm reading more into Harrison Ford's barely changing emotional face because I've watched these movies so many times in the last year and a half. I was about to say year and a half because I'm already thinking about that fucking schedule. In the last half a year, fuck, it does feel like a year and a half. Both for podcast reasons and plague time reasons. But Harrison's reaction when he finally hugs Leia and the woman in his arms that he always loved, but he was too much of a shithead to truly be able to commit to. After they get, as whoever wrote the episode 5 book, the mushy stuff out of the way, when she says bring our son back, there's this really interesting facial reaction. It's a little underplayed, where he kind of like just his eyes open and he's trying to come to grips with this task that he sees as impossible because he can't open as a human being in order to get him back, and also just minutes before had seen his son as lost entirely. It's an interesting juxtaposition and decision on Harrison Ford's part, unless I'm reading too much into it because I've watched these movies so many fucking times.
Well, actually, in the book, I forget if this is in the movie too, because my brain's a little hazy right now. In the book, when he's about to leave for the mission to Starkiller Base, and it's his last time seeing Leia, he says, "I need to tell you something," and it's like he's about to like say "I love you" or something like sweet like that, and she says, "Tell me when you get back."
That's what they say that in the movie.
And there's a whole internal monologue where Han's talking to himself about how he's not sure if he's gonna get back.
That's
like
I would love to read that monologue.
He it's not like a whole monologue. It's like a little thing where he's questioning whether or not he will be able to return. Like he deep down he knows that he's probably not coming back from this mission.
There is a very sad thing that it seems like they are focused on this High Republic thing. It's both sad and not, because I mean I've been pretty clear on I don't necessarily want them to just start replacing the EU. So like I don't know how much I'd be interested in reading a whole bunch of books about Han, Luke, and Leia post original trilogy, you know, like, but I don't know. I feel like we at least need like a trilogy of Han and Leia so we can actually like see what exactly happened.
Yeah. I think that's going to happen. I would venture a comment to say I feel like that is the natural conclusion to me of the next Filoni show, of just Han and Leia with a young Ben and kind of playing that out and seeing kind of how they grow. I realize Filoni's always kind of focused on the new characters, but that feels like something Filoni can sink his teeth into. Multiple seasons could really lend to.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just my Dave Filoni bias talking, but he's also he's the only guy I would really trust to be involved in handling the original character. I've said it before, I think Dave Filoni understands George Lucas better than George Lucas understands George Lucas. So like, if we're going to do anything where we remotely touch the original trilogy characters, then Filoni has to be involved.
Yeah.
I think he's basically proven himself at this point that he is pretty much in charge of all Star Wars TV show anyway.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it definitely feels like he's been put in the MCU greater keeper of the story arcs going forward position at this point, which is probably the best thing that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean,
I don't know.
Short of just destroying trademark law and just letting Joe Schmo and his mom and dad fucking write all of them, which I would be in favor of, down with trademark law.
well, and we have Bad Batch coming out soon, which I'm excited for. Cause
God, that fucking
Post Order 66 Commandos is going to be very interesting.
That Black Series wave just came out with those first Bad Batch figures, and they look fucking awesome.
Oh, really? I didn't see any.
Those designs are just great. It really is, fucking Republic Commandos at this point. Like, they're doing.
As much as I dug the Bad Batch, I want more like characters like Gregor or like Delta who are like the traditional, I guess you would say, commandos. Because like Bad Batch feels more like a D&D party.
I'm more an Omega Squad. I really do.
That's fair.
Can I? Never mind.
Yes, you can.
Well, no, now you have to. You can't. We don't. There's no never mind on this podcast. Go for it. What's on your mind, Jeff?
I very badly want to call out a YouTuber, but I can't remember the name of the YouTuber who upset me tremendously.
We're in the YouTube drama business also. Hey, YouTube. Let me talk to you real quick. Come here.
I get that a lot of these Star Wars YouTubers have to put out video after video after video, kind of in that MCU style thing of like, oh, here's the thing that's going on, and here is how it connects to the comics, blah blah blah. But there was a title that I saw that was essentially something along the lines of the Republic Commando who knocked up a Jedi, why the Kaminoans were scared to death of their sperm count. And
Geetsley's, I think it was.
If I could have jumped through a YouTube video to the creator to strangle them, I would have. Because first of all, what a sexist way to put it. Second of all, way to undercut 3.5 books and the only decent thing Karen Travis has ever fucking written in her goddamn life. Undercut it into a fucking clickbait title. And 3,
that's
just the fucking audacity of why the Kaminoans were afraid of clone sperm counts.
Listen, that's YouTube, baby.
I know.
The clickbait and the fucking, I don't know what this character I'm doing now is all of a sudden on this episode. It's like John Travolta playing an old-timey jazz man.
The title is The Clone Who Knocked Up a Padawan, Why Clone Sex Drive Scared the Kaminoans.
Why do you pronounce it Kaminoans?
Also,
it's just always how I've done it.
That's sad. Can we get an age check on this Padawan? What was
the Padawan?
Padawan was about 20 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to Josh, the video says they were like in their teens, but I honestly trust Josh more than I trust Geetsleys as much as I consume their content.
I haven't read the books in a long time. I could be wrong. If there is an age gap and I'm wrong, sure. But I remember her arc being that she was an extremely late Jedi, meaning she.
Well, I mean, no
really...
matter what, it's gonna be weird because clone aging is problematic.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into
I hate using the term problematic because it's done to death, but it is problematic.
It's problematic.
That's the most accurate word for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the clone was like 11 or 12 years old, which in clone years it's double that. So it's just fucking weird. When I say I want more like background and depth on the clones, I don't think a clone and a Padawan having a child. That's just not something I need.
Yeah. No, Ben, your wish is granted this summer from
Stop.
the people who brought you the OC.
Stop. Stop.
Coming to Hulu.
I was double checking the age, which it is never stated, by the way.
Oh God.
I missed whatever the lead up to that was, but I did hear what Ben said before it, and I'm terrified as to what Chris said.
I'm just talking about the new Disney show that's going to be coming to Hulu, where we get like Teen Clone Academy. With, actually, no, I'm sorry, not coming to Hulu, coming to the CW.
That does sound very CW-ish.
I do have a couple of notes I do want to definitely run through.
For sure.
Taco Donna is interesting.
Sure.
Ray's there just, fucking vibing at Maz's castle.
I
And
forgot that was the name of the fucking planet.
Oh, so when I said Taco Donna, you're like, what the fuck is Ben going on about?
I thought it was a new character.
That's why that was my favorite. Sure.
So Ray's just vibing at Maz's castle, right? And then fucking all of a sudden she feels a like slimy, gooey hand on her shoulder, and she turns around, and it's motherfucking Unkar Plutt.
This is a deleted scene from the movie.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So in the vein of people trying to bare knuckle box people way out of their weight class, Chewie comes over to break up Unkar Plutt and Ray's interaction here. And this Chewie got shot escaping the Raftars, so Chewie's still got a bandage. And Unkar Plutt says, hold on, this is in all caps, it'll be easy to find. The note I have written down is Unkar Plutt says, half a Wookiee ain't much against all of me.
Yep.
And after that, in all caps, I have Unkar Plutt tries to bare knuckle box Chewie, to which he gets his arm ripped off.
Yep.
That's
awesome. That's a deleted scene in the movie. And I am convinced it was cut from the movie because maybe having another arm torn off in another cantina and another A New Hope but faster might have been a little too on the nose.
Chewie was there when that arm was cut off. Like, Chewie was right behind Obi-Wan there, too.
But no, that's an actual scene that happens in the movie, yes. Or happens in the scenes, yes.
Well, another tangent. They also have the Snowspeeder deleted scene.
Yeah.
Which there's a deleted scene where Finn and Rey hijack a Snowspeeder, and there's like a whole chase on Starkiller Base.
That was an understandable cut. It's very boring.
Yeah, that's the whole sequence of them getting from point A to point B, point B being where they see Han Solo get stabbed by his kid.
Speaking of, I will definitely say, when I was watching the movie, and the assault on Starkiller Base started from the Alliance, I did have the thought, man, I should probably pay attention, a little more attention than I've been the rest of the movie on this, because I'd love to know why I can never remember that this happened, despite the fact that I can remember Starkiller Base exploded. And then I realized it's because you see it like in like 30-second bursts every 10 minutes, and it is introduced 38 minutes before the end of the movie, which is like 10 minutes before Han Solo is killed.
Wait. Hold on. I totally like blanked out for a minute. What do we get right before Han Solo's killed?
I'm saying
Lots of warnings.
Yeah.
Red flags everywhere.
I mean,
just lots of red flags.
Just lots of pointing fluorescent signs saying Han's gonna die. Han's gonna die.
oh yeah.
No, I was saying that I paid extra special attention to the dogfight that happens on Starkiller Base today, because I was trying to figure out why I can never remember anything that happens in it. And I came to the conclusion that it starts 10 minutes before Han Solo's death, and you only see it in 30-second intervals over the course of 40 minutes of the fucking movie. Every, 10 minutes, there's a 40-second interval. It's totally unmemorable because it's barely there.
Yeah, even in the book, they don't really touch on the actual dogfighting much.
The longest section of the assault on Starkiller Base from the X-Wings is them going back to spend some time with Leia. That is the longest scene out of all of the scenes regarding the assault.
Very clearly, J.J. Abrams doesn't know how to do dogfights and has no desire to do so.
But I'm going to not excuse J.J., but just cast some shade on the rest of the movies. At least 75% of dogfights or space battles in Star Wars that happened after A New Hope are completely unmemorable. There's maybe 2 or 3 that are very, very memorable. This is just the most egregiously forgettable of them.
Honestly, I would say the most memorable space battle dogfight type thing to me is Return of the Jedi.
No, I would say that's one of the ones that are extremely memorable. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying outside of A New Hope, it's 75% of them are completely unmemorable. The other one I would say is for sure memorable is the opening to Revenge of the Sith, because 1, it's the opening, and 2, it has some of the best banter in the entire saga.
And
Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi just wanting to die. And the only reason why I remember anything that happened in the dogfight in The Phantom Menace is because a 10-year-old was flying a starfighter. Oh, God, but I still don't remember most of it. All I'm saying is that the majority of it hasn't been done especially well in most places since A New Hope. And can we bring this up real quick? I don't want to spend
what is it?
I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but a story came out recently that and I guess it's always kind of been known about how a lot of A New Hope being made and making sure it got out on time can be directly attributed to George Lucas's wife at the time, especially a lot of the last-minute editing, and especially the run on the Death Star. Maybe that's why that's
you who brought this to our attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she especially did a lot of the editing around the assault on the Death Star, and maybe that's why it's more memorable than the majority of George's.
I mean, also not to knock her, but most of the actual trench run is almost shot for shot stolen from another movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to diminish any of her work, because I'm unfamiliar exactly with what she did.
It's incorrect to say it was stolen from another movie. It's more accurate to say that it was stolen from multiple movies and then put in a very specific order. It's not that he just stole it and then showed it to people. He took it from a bunch of World War II movies and dogfights, and then took that footage out of sequence and then edited them together himself, which, according to this, it might not have been him. It might have been his wife. It probably was his wife that actually did it, and then George, proud as a peacock, showed it to Steven Spielberg, who said, I think this movie's going to work. Maybe it wasn't George who did that. I'm just saying. Anyway.
There's a line that I think it's Finn. I think Finn says it, which, side tangent. Fucking Finn, the fucking First Order goddamn stormtrooper is the one who correctly identifies Han motherfucking Solo as the war hero.
I mean, that makes sense to me, though. I thought about that today, too, but it makes sense because he would have gone through multiple classes on Imperial history.
Well, yes, but I don't picture the First Order really favoring the rebellion in that history.
No, but he would recognize Han Solo because of that history. And it doesn't say war hero. He says the rebellion.
No, he does say hero.
No, not in the movie, at least. Are you really going to open Disney Plus to check this?
No.
It's all going to harmonize by the end of this.
We can't do this. It's terrible audio.
The quote I have written down, again, I'm not sure if this is Rey or Finn. I want to say it's Finn. It says, and again, this is totally like pointing to the fact of how fucking diluted the history of Star Wars is at this particular era. They say, he's Han Solo. He must know what he's doing. Which I laughed for 10 minutes afterwards.
That's a pretty brilliant line, Alan Dean Foster. I appreciate that. That's a pretty brilliant line.
Yeah, that made me happy. Can I talk again about people being weird and creepy towards Rey?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is me or if this was unintended and just like kind of I got this vibe from it, or if this was intentional. The way that Kylo's like mind probing of Rey is in the book feels super rapey.
It was never not.
No,
in
but
the
like
movie it was.
No, but it gets like, I don't know if it was like the way this guy was reading it, because again, these are audiobooks I'm consuming. I don't know if it's the way the guy was reading it or the way it was written, but like it feels like it's fucking thick. Like in the movie, it's like it's bad, but here it's like
I will say, I have said on the podcast, and I firmly believe this, a lot of those scenes are why I'm so not okay with the Reylo ship, because it is very clearly and uncomfortably, like, non-consensual in a very intimate way, and it feels very, very rapey, and I can't imagine what it was like in the book.
Well, I mean, he fucking idolized Darth Vader, so like it's like grandfather like grandson.
His grandfather was a master of being a fucking creep.
I just picture Kylo like writing in his diary, like, "Dear diary, Snoke was mean to me today. Still can't find any stemless pears."
This just occurred.
Oh no.
You want to know how broken my brain is? It just clicked into my head. I was about to complain that Vader's helmet was inside of this stand of sand. Then I remembered, no, it's probably fucking ash, you dumbass.
It is ash. It is the ash of like enemies he's slain before, like some like super edgy shit like that.
Oh.
I used to know that little piece of lore, but it's since fallen out of my head.
Let's be real. Kylo Ren's like username on the HoloNet is something like Edgelord6969 or something. Like,
This book made me a little angry at one point with Chewie.
With Chewie, the only wholesome
Bastard.
character in Star Wars.
It's not Chewie's fault.
The only.
I just realized the sentence I said. But so, goddamn, movie's over. Fucking book's over. Everyone's going on a field trip to go see Luke Skywalker, who's just bumming around a fucking island. Apparently that island has a forest on it that he's hanging out outside of. I don't know how I missed that in the movie, but fuck.
I mean, that's another example of this book was written before the movie came out.
Yeah. So Rey's boarding the Falcon, and she gets up to the fucking the pilot area, cockpit, that word, and Chewie's just sitting there in the co-pilot seat, and Rey's like, dude, that's my chair. You gotta scoot over. And Chewie's like, no, I sit here. And Rey's like, but you're the captain. And Chewie's like, nope, I'm the co-pilot. You're the captain. I was like, no, you make Chewie the goddamn captain. You goddamn Alan Dean Foster.
No, it's been 6 years. Rey, canonically in the movie, is the one flying most of the time. Why are you mad about this now?
What do you mean? Why am I mad about this now?
I think it's more bad about the way Alan Dean Foster wrote it of Chewie. So
Chewie's just like being Chewie's like, no, I now allow you to be the captain, and I'll just be co-pilot for the rest of my fucking existence, no matter who decides to fly the goddamn Millennium Falcon.
Doesn't it feel like that's Chewie kind of taking her under his wing? Like,
taking her under his wing would be her being co-pilot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but he clearly taught Han Solo how to fly a starship as the co-pilot.
This is Chewie letting Rey take him under her wing.
No. Based on everything we know about Chewie and Han, was it not Chewie from the co-pilot seat that taught Han how to be a semi-decent pilot?
No, not according to Solo, no.
No, according to Solo, he fucking barely flew the goddamn starship before he got on. And yeah, he was alright, but Chewie was the one that fucking carried him through the goddamn movie, even if the movie doesn't expressly say it.
I don't know about that one, boss.
Okay, we're gonna watch the movie again at some point. But like,
I've read a decent portion of the Solo audiobook at this point because I'm a masochist.
It's always been implied that Chewie was the better pilot of the two, and Han took a lot of cues from Chewie. So I choose to interpret this being very similar.
I'm still mad. And that's my last word on the subject.
This has been Star Wars Every Week Forever. Good night.
Oh shit, we're signing out.
I mean, what's the better cutoff than I'm still mad? That's just the podcast every week.
If you enjoyed that episode, why not like and subscribe? Also, share it with a couple friends. Bring them into this hellscape that we've done to ourselves. You can catch brand new episodes every single Wednesday on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, pretty much every other platform you get your podcasts on. If you'd like to extend the suffering, you can catch us over on twitter.com at SWEWF. We post direct links to brand new episodes every week as soon as we upload them, and you can catch the occasional other dumb Star Wars take, and who wouldn't want that? Catch you guys later.